Today is July the 1st, Payson City Council meeting. The time is, we'll say about a minute after 6. I'll go ahead and open this meeting with a word of prayer. Father in heaven, as we come to thee at this time, we're so very thankful for the city of Payson and for the atmosphere that's here, for the safety that we enjoy. We're thankful for the precious moisture that we have had and would ask thee to please provide us with more moisture for our needs through the summer. And would ask also, Father, to bless us with more moisture during the winter months ahead, that we can rest somewhat easy as far as our water needs are concerned. Please, Father, help us as citizens and council to be mindful of thee and be mindful of the future of our city. Help us make good decisions for our future. And I say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
We'll have Robert Mills lead us in the pledge.
Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go on to see the consent agenda, the approval of the June 17th, 2026 City Council minutes. Number 2, approving an interlocal agreement with Utah County for the drug prevention grant and program. Number 3, resolution approving a contract with MAG for the fiscal year 2027 Meals on Wheels conjugate meal program. And number 4, victim services report. Council, if there's no discussion on these items, I'm ready for a motion.
I have one quick question, Mayor.
Okay.
Maybe, and this has nothing to do with approving anything, but for the Meals on Wheels, who qualifies that and how does that work? I have no idea. So
I can answer some of that if you'd like.
Yeah.
They have to be homebound pretty much. It doesn't matter what age they are, but they have to be homebound and can't get out to take care of themselves and then have the ability to function within the home, but they're homebound pretty much.
So who finds them?
Family members can call in and reference them. I have found some and referenced them as well. And they not only depend on our funding, but they're going, it sounds like they'll be part of the Giving Tree this year. And then they were able to establish a nonprofit to be able to accept some of that funding as well. They currently have over 200 people that are on a waiting list that cannot get in there because they don't have the funding. And so the Giving Tree is going to help fund much of that.
So we have people in Payson that can't get it, even though we're contributing, there's not enough money to do them all.
Yeah, and it's not just a Payson problem, it's countywide.
Right.
But and during COVID, there was much more of a need than there is now. And it was funded with COVID money, but that money is no longer there. And so it's a struggle to get it back to the level they need.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anything to add, Robert and Dave?
Oh, I would just add that I think that there's also a constant need for volunteers to help deliver those meals. So if you have any interest, contact MAG.
And just so you're aware, I go out at least once a year with them and visit with there's about 8 to 10 people here in Payson that are benefiting from that. Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor, I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Requires a roll call vote, starting with Council Smith.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Rowley, yes.
And
Didn't I say Rowley? And then I'll find it. I thought just when I said that. Ann, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, your vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, going to D petitions, the order of the month. I guess I get to jump in there because Council Provost Guard is not able to attend here either on in person or on Zoom. So I will go to that. We got a picture up. Okay, if we could have Brady Theobald and his wife come on up. Just by way of explanation, the beautification committee is very active. Bob is chairing that committee, and we really want to, one step at a time, beautify our city. And you've been that lucky home this time, and it's very well deserved. So thank you very, very much. And along with this is a gift card for Molson's Garden Shop for $100. And we appreciate the effort that you've obviously went to with your home and making us proud of not only your home, but our community. Would you like to say anything? Brady, come on back. Make your wife do it. Tell us a little bit about your house.
No, this is actually kind of fun. We spent a lot of time together and kind of dreaming this up and with our kids and future grandkids. So, if anything, yards do kind of group you together as marriage, and it's been awesome.
Good. Congratulations. Really, let's get a picture. We want to get a picture going. Please, right here in this little nick. I'll stand right here. Okay, we do one each month, and this one's entitled Most Improved Yard of the Month. It does not mean it was a bad yard, but it is a very, very nice yard. And again, it's part of our effort as the beautification committee to reward people that are taking an interest in their homes and being proud of them and being proud of part of Payson City. You can see that home is very, very nice, and I've rolled by it a number of times. So would Tyson and Brianne Sparrow come on up? As I said before, I appreciate you being here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Stay here. One of you come up and tell us a little bit about your home.
We moved into that area 2 years ago, and there was a little bit of grass when we moved in, and then the planter boxes, but the rest was weeds. So,
That's why it's the most improved house.
and then I have the same sentiment that Brady talked about. We have grandkids, 2 grandkids, and we do all those projects together as a family, and it's wonderful.
Teresa, raise your hand and show everybody. Teresa Carter's part of this beautification committee. Should have had her come up, so. No. Okay, great. Let's have a picture.
Well, now's the time. Most approved smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Lacey, could you grab me my glasses I laid on that?
Podium.
I'm lost without them. They're just readers. Oof. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to number 2, public forum. Anyone can speak to us on a subject that's not on the agenda. And if you'd like to do that, please come up to the mic and let us know who you are. And let us know your concerns. Not seeing anyone in the congregation to come up. Was there anybody online? Okay. Sorry, I'm a little bit quick on the update. Come on up. You betcha. You're good. Just let us, give us your name and we'll be happy.
My name is Marilyn Meekum, and I live in Rosewood Estates, which is across the street from the hospital. We're very concerned. We live in a 55-plus community, and we would like to respectfully request that our city streets get some attention. They look terrible.
Okay.
I myself went out and dug some weeds not too long ago. It was horrible. The streets cracked, and we have weeds that are some of them 12 inches high growing in the cracks. We would like to have a crack seal done at the best. Another issue is the heavy truck traffic that is related to the current construction at the property owned by Scott Phillips. There are 3 good access paved roads into his property, but they are blocked off to public traffic. There's one paved street that gives closer access to his property, but is piled with rock, with another further north with both entrances accessed off at 1000 East. A third one is on 330 North, off 1140 East. We wonder what gives him the right to block off the public streets that are marked roadwork closed. That has been there for a long time. However, he uses our street to bring his double trailer trucks, big trucks, cement trucks, belly dumps. This morning I seen a big long trailer with heavy cement things of some kind, maybe for more closures. Anyway, he has built a gravel road clear north at the end of our condos that the trucks are able to go in there. And anyway, we'd really appreciate your consideration of these 2 issues.
You bet.
Give us
You're on
some
record
attention.
now.
Okay,
You're on record now. We'll follow that up.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wanting to address us? Come on up, April. You just barely made it, didn't you?
Just finished teaching dance. Okay, I'm April Jones. Did I need anything else? I missed that whole announcement part. I'm Payson resident, and I am a member of the Payson Scottish Festival Committee. So I am here tonight to invite each of you to this year's Scottish Festival. It will be happening next Friday, Saturday. Everything official starts at about 5 p.m. next Friday. We have our entertainment on the bandstand. We have our pipe solo competitions and our drum solo competitions happening in the evening. And then we will have a special pipe evening. It's just solo pipers, but we'll be doing it in the corner. It's kind of a fun thing to attend if you enjoy just some folk pipe music. And that will be as soon as the pipe band competitions, the solo competitions are over, and that's on Friday evening. And then on Saturday, we will start bright and early, and we want to invite you to come be in our parade. So the parade will begin at the New Era building. We would love for each of you to come and march if you want. We have t-shirts available for you at the information booth if you would like one. Just let them know your name will be there, and they'll just get you the size that you would like for that. And then once again, you want to get down to the New Era building. We do have a few kilts if you really want to be traditional and wear a kilt. You're welcome to. We check those out at the information booth. If you
Come
do
on,
not
guys. I
wish,
wear a kilt every year. With cowboy boots.
if you want to wear a kilt with cowboy boots, we encourage other people to, but it actually might infringe on the mayor's reputation. We are known for that in the Scottish world. And so the parade will begin at the New Era building, and gracious, you need to be there before 9:30.
And
After,
April, just to clarify, this is the 10th and 11th of
this is
July?
the 10th and
Okay,
11th of
thank you.
July. So this weekend we have 4th of July, and next weekend we're rolling with our Scottish Festival. So, and then games will begin. We'll have our official opening ceremonies over at Parkview. We would love you to come and be dignitaries. We'll just introduce you. You really don't have to say anything. And then you can watch the festivities. You can attend any of the events. We will have dancing in Parkview. Dancing actually begins as early as 8 a.m. The athletics will begin at 8 a.m. and they're over by the bathhouse. And then the band competition doesn't begin until approximately 1, and it's over by the bear cage. Live entertainment on the bandstand throughout the day, and it will wrap up around 5, 6. So we just want to extend a formal invitation for you to all come. If you're not busy, we would love to see you there.
Thank you, April.
You're so welcome.
We
Any
love
questions?
the Scottish Festival.
Any questions?
Anything you want to know about?
We're just glad that you're here and that we've been able to link up with the Scottish Festival itself. For years, it was just a standalone Scottish Festival. Now we've joined hands, so to speak, and it's an official Payson City activity. So thank you.
We are so grateful for the partnership that we have with you. So thank you.
Thanks, April.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Doesn't look like anyone else is coming up at this time. Is there anybody online, Emily? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public forum and we'll move on to staff reports. Any of the staff like to address us? Thank you, Chief.
I just want to let you know we're having National Night Out on August 4th, and then we're going to change it to Memorial Park this year. So we have some shade and a little more room to stretch out there. So we'd love to have you come if you're able to make it.
What time, Chief?
From 6 till 8.
What time?
6 till 8. Free hot dogs, Ryan.
Okay.
Free donated hot dogs even.
Another chief.
Travis is jealous because he's not as fast as us, I guess. Mayor and council is good to be here with you today. Just to let you know a couple things. We've had firefighters out on the fire out in Eureka last weekend for 3 or 4 days, helping out on those fires and structure protection. So it's been interesting to help out there. And as you know, as the new incident command comes in and type 3 teams, it takes a while to get new resources in. And so we help till they get there. It's been a crazy year with all the dryness and lack of moisture, but it was good to see the moisture we got because you saw what it did to those fires, just having the cooler temperatures and a little bit of rain that we got. It makes a big difference. So we've got our fireworks coming up this weekend, the 2nd through the 5th. So we'll have people out through the city patrolling and making sure that people are doing the correct fireworks. Because there's always people that love to go buy them in Wyoming, and they're not as safe and sane fireworks. So those types do come down with hot embers, where the fireworks we buy locally are safe and sane, so they don't come down with hot embers. That makes a huge difference. So we'll have people out patrolling for that, looking in those areas, especially the restricted areas, and helping enforce that. So hopefully we have a quiet weekend with not a lot of issues or problems. We've been out working, trying to get a lot of the lots through the city cleaned up with weeds. Unfortunately, we had an incident with one today where we've asked them to get it done, and they wanted a couple more weeks, and we told them no, get it done today or tomorrow, and they were completely done putting trash and stuff in their bags, and turned around, their lawnmower was on fire. Started the lot on fire. Didn't go very far, but anyway. So we've been out trying to get that. So Fire Marshal Kilmer's been talking to a lot of people and trying to get weeds and stuff cleaned up and mowed to help out with the situation. So thank you for all your support.
Could I just tag on to you a little bit, Chief, we've been able to coordinate with the Mayor Jenkins of Eureka, and also been able to coordinate with, his name's Ben, trying to see it here on my phone, Ben Donner. He's the executive director for the Red Cross and for this area in southern Utah. So we've been active trying to make sure that whatever they need, we get to them.
Yeah. And it's sad to see all that acreage burn. That's a lot of acres.
Yeah.
So take a lot of years for it to come back. So
Okay.
thanks.
Any other staff? Okay, we'll move on to council reports, starting with Council Rowley. Oh, let me, before I forget, let's start with Ann, because she's online. I'll forget her. Ann, would you like
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, I can start. First, I'd like to thank all the firefighters that have been out helping, and we're so grateful for them and all that they do, and all the knowledge and abilities they bring to the table and keeping everyone and property safe. I'd also like to thank Chief Bishop for meeting with me last week. He gave me a tour of the police station and told me what was working, what wasn't, what their needs were. And I'd like to have a discussion on what we can do to get that ball rolling. And can't believe the Scottish Festival is coming up already. I feel like we were just in the parade yesterday. So I'm so excited for it. It's one of my favorite things. And thanks to all the staff. And that's all I've got. Thanks.
Thank you, Ann. Council Rowley.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Chief, thanks for your support and for sending some brush trucks and guys to help with the Eureka fire. That was one of the last areas around us that had actual trees on mountains, so it is heartbreaking to see that burnt by Cherry Creek and by Eureka. Grateful that our neighbors didn't lose any structures, that they had a good evacuation, and then the wildland firefighters, all the fire departments, able to fight off that fire. So thank you. And obviously, at Payson City, we stand with all of those affected by the loss of those wildland firefighters here in the state of Utah that were fighting the fire on the Colorado-Utah border. It was a hard day to lose 3 firefighters in one day. So our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to those family and to that crew. I am so thankful for the Planning Commission and for Jill and Anders and for all the help that they do with the developmental services. I'm grateful for all the residents that take time to come out and voice concerns as well. And I'm really proud of the Planning Commission in the last few meetings on how they've handled things and how they've answered questions and tried to adjust their decisions according to the residents, and I'm thankful for them. I'm so grateful for this time of year. I was doing some reading, and I'd never found this out in regards to the Declaration of Independence. In the original draft of the Declaration of Independence that Thomas Jefferson drafted, he used some words that I'd never read before because he didn't end up using them and got changed. But he said, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for a people to advance from that subordination in which they have hitherto remained, and to assume among the powers of earth the equal independent station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that all should declare the causes which impel them to change. And these are the words he changed in the Declaration, but the original draft says this: we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. Obviously, he changes them to we hold these truths to be self-evident, but that idea that we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. I love the United States of America. I truly believe it is the best country upon the whole entire earth, and that we must stand as a beacon of hope and truth and democracy for the whole world to see. And that takes all of us playing that little small part. And in the words of Thomas Jefferson, that we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. I hope that we don't let this country or its founding or the blood that was spilled to get us here become commonplace. I hope we hold them sacred. I hope we hold our oath sacred that we each took when we were elected, and all of us that we do to hold up the Constitution. And I find it so interesting that 50 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, both John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on the same day, July 4th. And those two men were friends and rivals, and they both died at the age of they both died on July 4th, 1826, 50 years after signing the Declaration of Independence, dying on the same day. So I think that's a pretty interesting coincidence. But this country is going to take all of us to continue to move on another 250 years, and I know we're up to the task. President Ronald Reagan said that if someone's agreeing with me about 60 or 70% of the time, I'd call them a friend. And if someone agrees with me 100% of the time, they're not a friend, they're just a yes man. And so I'm grateful that we can sit up here and have disagreements and know that we agree 60, 70% of the time, but we don't always agree, and that's a good thing. We're here representing different ways of life, different upbringings, and different points of view. So that's why we're all here as elected officials. And this form of government does work. It's the best one out there, and I'm grateful and proud to be part of it. And happy Independence Day to everyone this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Council Hewlett.
Yeah, I just got a couple quick things here. This Friday night downtown from 6 to 8 o'clock, there's an event downtown. And then also, everybody, I just hope you have a great 4th of July. Be safe.
Lacey.
I'm gonna say ditto to everything Ryan said. I'm super excited every year for America's birthday, but just a little bit extra special. And I even got the special plates, which if anyone hasn't seen them, they're pretty sharp and they don't cost any extra. They're not like a special plate, but they're only good. You can only get them for 1 year. The license plates on your car. They look really good. So, and it celebrates America's 250th. But I also want to say thanks to all the firefighters and first responders, everyone that was involved in all of the fires that are going on in our state. My niece was evacuated twice in Eureka. Her shed was scorched a little, and so it was a little close to home. And I too live in obviously a high area, and so this finally scared me enough that I went on and bought fire boxes for every single one of my kids to put their special memorable things in, and they're just ready to go just in case they're in a spot that if that were to happen, there's certain things that are not replaceable. So if anyone else, that might spark something. But the last thing I have is I know we've talked about engaging residents and giving more information on things. So I'd really like to see where we are on stuff like that. My other thing is our local neighbors are kicking our trash on engagement on social media, and I think it is helping their city a lot. I know that Santaquin's huge on it right now, Salem, Spanish Fork, they're just engaging online where people are. And I think it would be great if we can all kind of come together and maybe think of ideas that could be our easy way to get things out there. I watch their videos all the time. Anyway, it's just something that's how people find out a lot of information. They like quick snippets. Anyone that is on Facebook around here and part of a group that's not affiliated with the city, but it has the name in it, knows that there's a lot of negativeness in that group a lot. And I put a small little post out the other day just explaining the annexation process so that people understood it. I don't think I've ever seen this in the history of this group. There wasn't one mean comment. There wasn't one dislike on the post. There was 118 loves or likes. Every comment was positive. So I think people are looking for that. So I'm happy to help. I really am. But obviously I can't just throw whatever out, but I don't even like to be in front of a camera, but I'm happy to do what I need to do to really get out there. And I'm looking right at you, Robert, but it's everyone. I hope that we can come together and think of something. So
I'm trying to remember, did we budget for a public relations, like a part-time position? Or are you still wearing those hats, Robert?
We did budget for that position,
Okay.
but all of them, that is a mid-year position. So if we have direction to do something different, then we can have that discussion. But that was very important that that be a mid-year position. But in the meantime, I don't know if you've been noticing, but we have been posting more. We have the same thoughts that being able to connect with our community is really, really important and meet them where they are. One of the ways that we've been working on that, Melanie and I have been meeting Mondays and Thursdays to make sure that something goes out, so we can be more consistent in that. To help us with that, we would just encourage you to make sure that you're posting on your own pages as well, which you have been doing, and we would seriously encourage that. And then you can always tag Payson City as well.
Thanks
Okay.
for doing that, Robert.
I just know videos too are just,
Yeah.
I know that it takes more effort, but people these days, their attention span just, they want that 30-second thing versus reading.
You heard it here first. Just say yes when we ask you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're trying to build up the attention spans by making them read, okay?
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
I'll
That's
say,
it.
okay, I'll say one last thing about the fires. We have some, and I just want to, these companies are not looking for any notoriety, but we do have some companies that have stepped up and have helped the Eureka community substantially and the firefighters. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we have a good business community and they're very aware of what's going on around. So thanks to those businesses. Okay. Moving on to E, action items. Number one, a resolution approving a reimbursement agreement for the construction of the upsized public water and pressurized irrigation improvements between Payson City and Patterson Homes LLC. Brandon and Travis, you're going to educate us?
Mayor and Council, so this was up there at the south end where Patterson just did that latest phase, kind of where 1900 South will meet, where Main Street meet. So we have in our master plans a potential site to put a new water tank and a PI pond up above the canal right there. So I had them upsize the line. So this is to reimburse them for that upsizing that we're required to by state law. So that project's already in our impact fees that just went into effect today. So this is just to formalize the agreement so we can reimburse them. So
Travis, thanks for being forward thinking on this and putting bigger things than what we originally planned.
Yep,
Thank you.
no problem.
That's
Good
great.
use of the impact fees. Really
Yes.
is.
So I got a quick question for you. So it comes from impact fees. Are there fees that are already collected, or are there going to be future ones? Because it says we only pay them back through impact fees. So when do they get paid back, I guess?
they'll get paid back in October. So Dave and I have met with our consultant that we had do our impact fees, and how we want to proceed going forward is, in the past we've saved impact fees and we just spend what we need to, but Spanish Fork, they spend every year everything they collect. So you never have to worry about the 6-year window, and you prioritize how you spend those impact fees based on the priority of the project. So based on how much the project costs, you know, if it's a city project, different things, but you put it in the spreadsheet and it ranks it for you based on how much money you brought in. So that's kind of how we want to go forward. But yeah, for these projects, obviously it's money we already have. But in the future, yeah, like if we only say brought in $100,000, but you had $400,000 worth of impact fee cost, then you'd only still spend the 100,000, and it may take however many years to reimburse those people that are eligible. But that's kind of how we plan on going forward. So thank you.
Okay. Any questions, discussions, any further? Okay, if there aren't any, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor, I motion that we approve the reimbursement agreement for the construction of upsized public water and pressurized irrigation improvements between Payson City and Patterson Homes LLC.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Roll call vote starting with Ann Moss,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Hewlett,
Yes.
and Council Smith.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. That motion carries unanimously. Number 2, resolution approving the Fifth Amendment to the lease agreement between Payson City Municipal Corporation and JKLM and Investment LC. Dave.
Mayor and Council, we've had an agreement on the gravel pit for many years. and that's JKLM. It's Kenny Singh, but that was their LLC for all these years. They have you probably all heard they have sold and merged in with Granite, but Kenny Singh Construction is the one that's still going to be handling the gravel pit. Under our contract, it said that they could assign that without coming back to council, but it didn't have. It said Kenny Singh Construction, but there was Kenny Singh Construction Incorporated, Kenny Singh Construction LC. And in talking with Brandon, we thought it'd be best just to have the council approve that. It's something that we need to approve. It's something that they have a right to do, and we're still working with them under the same contract. And this Kenny Singh Construction LC would be responsible for all the contents of that agreement as well. They would assume all those responsibilities of that agreement. So that's what we brought forward to you to have this Fifth Amendment to the lease agreement.
And it's been a real good situation for us and for them both. So it's
For a
been
lot of
very
years.
beneficial.
So Dave, the assumption of this agreement to this new company did not change any of the terms
No.
of the agreement?
No,
Okay.
terms are the same, and they are responsible. And Brandon was really good in acknowledging that successor liability. They take on all the liability that the agreement has.
Okay, very good.
Under those circumstances, I think would be a great thing to go ahead and ratify.
So, Dave, I got a quick question for you. Just sometime in the future, if you could have somebody just look and see how much we're still in the contract for paying for the way station and the ball fields, and see how much he has left until he starts actually paying us.
Yeah, we get a update every month, so I can send that out to you.
Okay,
That'd be great.
thank you.
In fact, I think we got one just recently, and I can forward that to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
So they were the JKL and they just merged kind of together because someone else bought his other stuff. I read this and I was like, okay, but then now that kind of confused me a little.
But there's a sales agreement
Okay.
to Granite Construction, who's a pretty large construction company.
So Granite owns Kenny Singh
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And so is the agreement, I guess, technically since they own Kenny Singh, it's with Granite / Kenny Singh and Payson? Is that?
The agreement for this, Granite's a much larger company, but for
Yeah.
this gravel pit agreement, they have Kenny Singh Construction LC that's still going to run this. It's going to be a subsidiary of Granite.
Of Granite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the assignment goes to Kenny Singh Construction LC.
So where it says it's without further approvals, do they have to come? They don't have to come to us to change it to anyone going forward, or only just to the Kenny Singh Construction?
For this, they wouldn't. If they have another, they would come back, and when the contract comes up for renewal, that would of course have to come back to the council if we renew that with them.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion, questions? Okay, I'm ready for a motion if that's the case.
I'll make a motion to approve the Fifth Amendment to the lease agreement between Payson City Municipality Corporation and JKLM and Investment LLC.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Roll call votes starting with Council Smith,
Yes.
Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Didn't forget you. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to number 3, resolution approving an agreement authorizing the operation of a nursing care facility within Payson City pursuant to the Utah State Code 10-8-90. Okay, Brandon.
Buckle up. This one's hard to follow. When I first was approached by it, it took me many, many times to read through the code and understand what's going on. So, background, Rocky Mountain Care has operated the Mapledale Skilled Nursing Facility in Payson for many years. Historically, the state-issued healthcare facility license for Mapledale was held by an entity called Canyonlands Healthcare, a special service district. But effective today, Canyonlands will no longer serve as the license operator.
So the new licensed operator will be Beaver Valley Hospital, a municipal hospital owned by Beaver City. So Rocky Mountain Care will continue to manage and operate the facility on a day-to-day basis here in Payson. However, this is all about access to upper tier limit Medicaid dollars. So in order for the Rocky Mountain Care to qualify for that, they have to have a contract with the city. So each city can have the one license for a skilled nursing facility to have access to those dollars. Where Payson City doesn't have a city-owned municipal hospital, they're asking for that license to have access to those dollars. So under State Code 10-8-90, a municipal hospital that owns and operates a nursing care facility and uses an intergovernmental transfer under the Medicaid UPL, the Upper Payment Limit Program, may not operate a nursing care facility in another city without entering an agreement with that city. So the requirement applies here in Payson because Beaver Valley Hospital is a municipal hospital. It will hold the state license for Mapledale. It participates in the UPL IGT Medicaid financing program, and the facility is located within Payson City. In this agreement, we made it so that the city has no liability, isn't responsible for anything, and we can terminate at any time. So anytime in the future, if Payson does create a municipal hospital and wants to participate in skilled nursing, we can terminate that agreement at any time and use our own license.
So we can only have one of these licenses out total for the whole city.
For the whole city, yeah.
And sorry, our contract, does it have an escape clause or?
It does. Terminate for any reason at any time.
Okay. On both ends? For both parties or just our parties?
Payson can at any time.
Okay.
They can with some notice. And so there's no fiscal impact to Payson because we don't have to provide any funding, staffing, or resources. But it allows Mapledale to
access
those higher tier dollars for staffing, for medical treatment, for new technology. I called Kevin Johnson, the hospital, Mountain View, and just to talk to him about it. He's the one that kind of oriented me with everything. And they're not interested in it because for them, skilled nursing is a losing proposition. They don't make anything off of it. And so for someone to actually make some money on it and have the facility here in Payson, he was all for it.
Okay, that was going to be my one concern and next question. So we're not impeding or hurting Mountain View in any way by this because obviously we put so much
they don't
stock
want to
and
be in
faith
that
with
business.
them.
And so the positive for Payson is that we have a facility in Payson that can operate at hopefully at a profit with being able to access this money.
And this doesn't hurt our good partnership with Mountain View.
And it doesn't.
Yeah, we
No,
want
I
to
talked
maintain
with
that.
him
We love having them here. So thank you for checking on that with them.
Yeah, the benefit is that it provides a service that people need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so under the state code, they have to have an agreement with Payson, having our permission basically to use that license. And so that's the reason for this agreement. And so the motion would be to allow the mayor to sign on behalf of the city to enter that agreement.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Payson used to be in the hospital business.
We used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, any further questions or comments? Okay, liking some, I'm ready for a motion.
I motion that we approve the agreement authorizing the operation of a nursing care facility within Payson City pursuant to Utah State Code 10-8-90.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. We'll call vote starting with Council Smith.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Going on to number 4, ordinance amending the Title 6 of Payson City Municipal Code by enacting Section 6.04.9 entitled Trespass Enforcement and Exclusion Authority. You're still up, Brandon and the chief.
Chief's making Brandon do it.
So we this amendment has come about because we've had several incidents recently where different officers have come up and talked to me about if we can get a uniform codification of the trespass process here in Payson. Payson City, as property owners, we have the right to exclude people from our property for behavior, for conduct, for different issues. We can trespass them for a period of time. Because it's a public place, we can't banish them forever. But recently there was vandalism at the pool where someone broke a window and that group of individuals was trespassed. There's been several fights at the skate park where police feel like if they can trespass those individuals for a period of time, that it will keep the violence down at the skate park. And so with this amendment, what we're doing is codifying a procedure where police are able to trespass people from public places here in Payson, be it the pool, the skate park, the ball fields, for threatening, violent, illegal conduct for a period of up to 1 year. As with anything, there has to, with government enforcement, there has to be an appeals process. So the appeals person would be Chief Bishop, that they could come in and talk to him about any mitigating circumstances if he wants to modify or rescind that trespass notice. But the amendment is to allow police that enforcement technique, to have that in their tool belt to help keep other people safe at those facilities. We had the broken window at the pool. We've had incidents at the skate park, and we had a complaint come in about harassment, racial harassment at the swimming pool. And so to be able to trespass those individuals that are participating in that for a period of time, I think would help keep the other patrons safe, keep a welcoming environment, and be some accountability.
It's a great tool that the police need to have. I know it's been frustrating for me as a police officer some of the times, and we needed to do that and didn't really have the ability. I know that the Walmart and different stores like that, they can trespass and we enforce that, but we've never had that capability in our public facility. So I think that's a great tool. About time.
So is this an amendment to something, or is this brand new? Looks like it's brand new.
This would be, I mean, we've always had the ability as a property owner to trespass people. This is just codifying a procedure and a place to point at in the code.
A uniform approach to everything.
Because the individuals that were trespassed from the pool for breaking the window, their parents called in and was like, well, where does it say that they're trespassing? I'm like, well, under the state code, under trespassing, as a property owner, we can trespass them, but to have something to point to, I think would be very helpful to say, well, it's on our city code. Here's the process to follow if you want to appeal it, and see if the chief wants to agree with any mitigating circumstances that you present.
Yeah, we've always had that ability to trespass them, but how long? Could help the next day they could come, or the next hour.
The reason we came up with up to a year is because that's if somebody, I mean, that's the maximum penalty for a trespass normally. And we saying up to, so if we wanted to do less, do 90 days, 6 months, that we have that ability, but we're not overstepping the bounds into banishment, which would be unconstitutional.
I just want to say thanks to Chief Bishop, because last minute I messaged him because I read it and I was like, I think this this could be unconstitutional. And so I wanted to meet with him. He did. He answered everything. And after meeting with him, it put any worries to bay. And so I just wanted to just really quick just tell him thank you, and that I really appreciate that he took the time to do that and explain it all. So.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance amending the Title VI of the Payson City Municipal Code by enacting section 6.04.190 entitled Trespass Enforcement and Exclusion Authority.
I'll second.
Okay, you got it, Ann. Okay, we have a motion and a second, and I'll come to you, Ann, for start of the roll call vote.
Yes.
Council Rowley?
Yes.
Hewlett?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to number 5, ordinance adopting the Payson City Downtown Gateway Area Plan as part of the city's general plan. Anders?
Okay, good evening, council members. I'm excited to be here and present this plan to you. So a little bit of background on this. So the city's been working on this plan. Things started off with this in August of 2023, and we're excited to be at this point where we have the complete plan ready to present to you all. So some background. About a year ago, January of 2025, there was a joint Planning Commission and City Council meeting where the plan was presented, and we received some comments on what was presented at that time. And then since then, staff have gone through the recording of that meeting and made sure to take all those comments and find ways to implement them into the plan. And then we've met with each council member individually to better understand what those comments were and make sure we were understanding everything, and then to meet with the new council members that we have that weren't there at that meeting and make sure to understand their needs and their goals for this plan. And so we feel confident that we've addressed those needs with the updates that we've made, and I'm excited to share those with you. So with that background, also the plan and staff report was provided in the city council packet. So I hope you've had a chance to look through that. And the goal with that was really to help kind of direct you to the kind of key elements of the plan, and then also what those changes were that were made. So hopefully that was clear. And then for the public as well, that staff report and presentation is available online with the council agenda packet, and then also with the planning, the development services department here. We're happy to share that with anyone. So with that, and kind of in the interest of time, the goal of this presentation is not so much to focus on everything in the plan, but kind of have that understanding that you're already familiar with what's there, and just really to focus on the changes that were made just in this last year to the plan. So I'm going to go through the slides kind of fairly quickly, but if there's anything you want to pause on or dive into deeper, I have the staff report up available with the complete plan, so I'm happy to go into anything in more depth. But
So, and there's one question. So
yeah.
we did not have a specific area plan for this area before. This is brand new for the gateway area, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes well into this first section here, where I want to kind of just go over briefly the purpose of an area plan. So we have the Payson City General Plan, which does obviously include this area, but it's a city-wide plan. It's that was adopted in 2020. We're looking at making some updates, amendments to that this year. But the general plan, it focuses on a variety of elements. So those include land use, infrastructure, transportation, parks, recreation, economic development, housing, and then it's citywide. And so it's the citywide vision, goals, policies. But then the difference between that and an area plan is an area plan will focus on a specific area. And so as of right now, we don't have something that's tailored to that area of the city. And so this plan will provide that.
And Anders, this plan can be adjusted as needs arise, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So we're proposing that it be adopted as an amendment to the general plan.
but there are always opportunities to continue to refine that as needs come up, as new data comes up, as things change. The goal with this plan is it's looking into the future. We hope to be continuing to implement things in this plan, 30 years from now, right? That we're still able to refer to these goals that were identified and see how we can do things to continue to contribute to those goals. And so as things change, there will definitely be opportunities to make amendments to that. And then an important thing to recognize with an area plan and with a general plan is it's identifying goals and direction, but it's not giving any kind of entitlement. That comes with the Payson City Code and the zoning map. So those kind of work together where the zoning map is identifying zones for each property, and then those zones, there's corresponding codes found in the city code that identify the permitted uses for those zones, for the properties with that zoning designation, and development requirements, which go over density, building height, building site planning standards, landscaping, infrastructure, parking. So those things, we're not proposing any changes to those with the adoption of this plan. This would just help provide guidance for future. There's kind of two things. One, there's city initiated projects, and we'll talk specifically about two city initiated projects that we're looking forward to, that we use this as guidance for. And then there's when development proposals come where maybe there's a request to change the zone or change a code, then we can look to an area plan and general plan as guidance to see if that corresponds kind of the vision for the area. And so that's kind of the two of the primary uses of implementing this plan going forward.
Still be an opportunity for plenty of council involvement as you go down that road.
Yeah, exactly. So any kind of change to a zoning map or the zoning code, those are legislative decisions that require planning commission review, public hearing, and then ultimately a city council decision. But it's really helpful to have these plans as staff is communicating with property owners, with the public, to have some kind of guidance and a goal, so everyone's on the same page of where we're heading for this area, and to be able to provide some helpful direction. Okay, so why do we need an area plan for this specific area? So this following page here explains the area that's been identified on that map to the right as the study area for this plan. So that includes the historic downtown area going up the North Main Street corridor up to the Main Street interchange, and then kind of the area around there. So there's a lot of changes that we're anticipating in the near future to this area. So some of those are the new Payson Parkway interchange, and then that Payson Parkway arterial road with a lot of anticipated development around there, changes to the Main Street interchange, and then the Front Runner Station and surrounding planned TOD area, and then the UVU campus, a satellite campus that we hope to have all right in that area. And so with all that, there's a lot of opportunities and benefits that will bring to the city, but there's also some challenges that those could bring, specifically to the historic downtown area, with making sure that that's still a viable core heart of our city, that businesses are still able to be viable, and that we're not drawing too much traffic and customers away from the area that's competing with that area. So with those kind of conditions, the city really wanted to be proactive in planning for that area and not just reacting to those changes after they come, but making sure we're doing what we can now to address those potential concerns and help improve this area and set it up for success. So those are kind of the goals for this plan that are kind of discussed here. So since that initial start in 2023, there's a lot of work that's gone into getting where we're at today. Overall, I just would emphasize, a lot of public outreach. We really feel that this this plan reflects the goals of the community. It's the community's plan. There was public open house website meetings with key property owners. A technical advisory board was formed, and really the goal was to understand the goals of the community and make sure that this is addressing the needs of those people that will be impacted most by this plan. That they have that kind of rare opportunity to really have a say in what's going to happen around them. And so with that, the plan that we have today, I've identified a few sections here that are kind of the key elements of that plan that we'll be going to when it comes to implementing it in coming days and years. And as we mentioned before, we've made some changes to that just in the last year based on the comments from the city council. And so 3 of those sections are where we see those changes. And so I'll go through kind of each one of these sections, but focus on those sections where there's those changes and kind of address what changes were made and how they address those comments. So the first section here was identifying kind of the land use, assessing the land use. One thing that was identified early on was that even though it's a fairly small area, there's really 3 distinct kind of neighborhoods within this planning area, and important distinct goals and needs for these areas that were developed. So the first is the downtown district. The goal really of there is to continue to help revitalize that area, support businesses, help encourage high quality design that helps support the feel of that area and the small town feel it has, and even expand the feel of that area in surrounding properties. And then there's the Main Street district, so that North Main Street corridor where there's some pioneer architecture and a lot of residential homes that really contribute to giving Payson that small town feel for the entire city. And so it's important to help preserve that feel through some adaptive reuse opportunities and maintaining primarily residential uses. And then there's the gateway area, which there's a lot of opportunities there in that area for redevelopment. And the goal there is to create something that's unique, that's not just another freeway interchange commercial area, but something that has a unique feel, with the goal of drawing people off of the freeway onto Main Street and eventually into that downtown area, and providing kind of providing for the needs of the surrounding area, and create something that with a personality that we're excited about. And so this first section of the plan was identifying kind of the existing conditions, performing a analysis to identify what's needed based on those existing conditions, and then using that and that public input went into this conceptual land use plan. So some changes that were made based on city council feedback with this specifically. One was identifying definitions for these different land use designations, which we feel like was really important to help specify what we're wanting in this area and then what we don't want in these certain areas. So with the mixed use central district, that's what's found around the historic downtown area. That area was actually, that use is expanded to beyond just that 4-block area. And it focuses on primarily retail and retail that supports the home to adventure vision for the area. The area should be walkable and have high quality architecture and site planning. And then just support those existing businesses that are there. And then with the mixed use area, that's allows a variety of uses, but is primarily focused on retail uses that will kind of support the needs of the surrounding area and create something that's unique, that we don't really have in other parts of the city, and uses that will draw people into to Main Street. And so those definitions, I think, go a long ways in future conversations with property owners and helping understand the vision for these areas. Another thing was replacing high density residential on the Nebo School District property with two scenarios. One that would envision kind of repurposing the existing building on that property for an industrial use that could benefit from the existing facilities there. And then a second concept would be a residential use that would help support the proposed commercial in that area. So then this other page was a conceptual.
Sorry, Anders, could you go back to the previous slide? What is what's the hashed marks again there?
Yeah, so that's the Nebo School District property.
Oh, that's the bus yard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And so that was formerly shown as a high density residential.
Right.
And so now we're replacing that, kind of referring to these concept A and B.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so then this conceptual site plan is focusing in on that gateway area. And so important thing with this, again, with the entire plan, it's conceptual. It's not granting any entitlements or saying that this specific use has to be in this area. It's just providing more of a vision for what we could see in this area. Any kind of entitlement would come with a requested zone change that would have to go to the city council. And so some things that were changed to this page specifically was, again, adding some more definitions and refining definitions to really clarify what we mean by these different uses. There was a significant reduction in the amount of residential, really kind of getting rid of any high density residential, and focusing more on mixed use. And then with the flex use light industrial, focusing there on uses that would be low impact, maybe more office oriented and high quality architecture. And then with the kind of central area, focusing more on mixed use with that area, with ensuring that there's retail with that. And the goal really of that area is to create something that's unique, that provides sort of this pedestrian oriented center to the area, that has that draw and provides the needs for the surrounding area, has that plaza area that we could see as a benefit to the surrounding area. And so preserving kind of that small town feel with that area. So some other sections, this was kind of that third section that was changed recently. So the one image on the left is showing potential building height. So that was changed significantly, where now we're limiting the majority of the area to 2-story buildings and some 1-story buildings. And then there were quite a few changes to the precedent images. Overall, I would say the changes were kind of focused on getting rid of anything that would, I guess, encourage or indicate that we were open to maybe higher, like multi-story densities, whether that be commercial or residential, and then focusing really on high quality architecture and more of a small town feel architecture rather than like a modern architecture. So that was overall the changes that were made. I'll go through these pages quickly, but
thanks for changing these, Jill and Anders, and Michael too, and for all your work on this. I think this is one area of town that we can really make feel different, and one of the ways we do that is preserving our view of our mountains. And there is a time and a place for taller buildings in Payson City, but I love the fact that this is not the place for it. They can stay shorter here. Obviously, the one that we're allowing to be three, maybe a hotel, hopefully, or something like that.
Right.
But I think this is a good use of the airspace to have the view of the mountain as they're hopefully heading to downtown or up Payson Canyon. So thank you for hearing our remarks on this and lowering the height of these buildings.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, none of these images are going to be perfect. There might be something that's maybe not exactly compliant with the vision or current codes or anything. But the idea is that it's providing a general precedent of the type of architecture or feel that we'd want to have in these areas. So these images are for not just this gateway area, but the entire planning area. So this page is that gateway area and the mixed use neighborhood, commercial areas, residential areas, that central gathering space that we would hope to envision as kind of a core piece to this development, and then the flexed use and hotel uses, and then the retail at the downtown district, trying to preserve the high quality historic architecture that's there and encourage redevelopment that would kind of further that. And then this was a precedent image that was created. There was quite a few changes that were made to this than what was originally presented to all, reflecting the changes in uses that were made to the land use plan and conceptual site plan, and then also reflecting the changes in height. And then some other images showing kind of that main street leading up to the plaza area and a potential rendering of that plaza area that could be a great draw and make that area have a unique feel to it. Another section of this plan was an economic assessment that and SWOT analysis, and that all kind of went into ensuring that what was proposed with land uses was something that would be doable, that the market would support those uses. And we feel like the changes that were made still are in line with that as original assessment. Another part of the economic assessment was identifying these trigger sites. So trigger sites, the idea is that it's identifying areas that are key to making this plan a success, where if these properties can be developed in a way that's kind of in line with the vision for the plan, then it would set a precedent for surrounding properties and really help just make the entire plan go the way that's envisioned. And so it identifies several trigger sites. And one thing we're excited about is we've received a grant from MAG that would provide funding to sort of implement this plan for these trigger sites. So it would provide funding for the development of architectural plans and site planning, and then some transportation intersection planning that would help kind of take the next step to actually make this plan become a reality. So that's one of these city initiated projects that we're excited about that could really make this plan a reality, right? And so that includes this 100 North Main Street interchange and that city property, and then the city-owned property at 40 South Main Street, and then this site here on 400 North and Main Street, the Guerrera Farms piece. And so redeveloping these properties in a way that's kind of in line with the vision for this area. This is right in the center of that plan area, this intersection and property. So that we're excited to kind of get going on that plan, but it is sort of dependent on being able to adopt this plan in order to take this first step of implementing it. The plan also included a transportation assessment, identifying transportation needs, a conceptual North Main Street cross section, future grid connections and active transportation connections. And then it included a historic, kind of a pretty in-depth analysis of the historic district and potential recommended changes to our code that impacts or regulates development of the historic area. And we've already begun looking at ways to implement that and changing our central commercial zone to incorporate these recommendations. And then there's the active transportation plan that was included in this project that's already been adopted by the city council. So there's a lot of pieces to this plan that are providing actionable steps to not just have it be something that sits on the shelf, but really that we're excited to be taking the next step to implement this plan and have identified several ways to already start that process. And so we're excited to continue with that. Overall, our staff's analysis is that the plan truly reflects the needs of the community, that through the outreach that was done with its development, and that it addresses the comments from the city council, and then continues to be in line with the economic assessment that was done for what would be successful in this area. We also feel that it mitigates the challenges and kind of addresses those original goals of the plan, that the unique goals that it identifies for each area will really help with implementing the plan. And then finally, we feel like it really helps with providing the guidance that the city planning commission, city council, public, we all need to kind of be on the same page for understanding the needs of this area, the direction that this area is going, and would really help with developing partnerships and providing that direction for that's specific and tailored to this area. And then it provides the leverage that's needed to really be able to demand high quality development and architecture when different developments are being proposed. So with that, I'll ask if the city council has any questions for me.
Anders, I just want to say thank you so much for all the hard work you put into this. I think it looks wonderful. You really listened to what we were saying. We really wanted to keep the views available with keeping the number of stories low. I'd also like to maybe bring to people's attention that we can have big box stores, I think, make sure their look is nice. I think it's the Pleasant Grove or the American Fork Walmart is brick, and it's doesn't look like a Walmart. Not that we have to have our Walmart changed, but any in the future, can we do that? But other than that, everything looks wonderful. I think this is a great plan, and I hope that we can stay loyal to it. And good job. So thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely couldn't have done it without all of you. I mean, it was great to have those one-on-one conversations with each of you to really help get us to where we're at. So
been able to watch the work that's being done on this, and thank you very much for all the attention to details.
There's few things as important as plans within our city. And so good plans protect both the city and the residents and the businesses too. And echo what Council Moss said, that we need to, hopefully us and future councils can have the wherewithal and strength to stick to the plan where it makes sense to do such. Did this go before the Planning Commission?
Yeah, I failed to mention that. Yeah, so a public hearing was held with the Planning Commission just earlier last month. And they recommended, it was a unanimous recommendation to the city council to adopt it into the general plan, which is the recommended motion.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Without a plan, we fail. So this is a great plan.
So I got a few things. It's been a long time coming, been like 2 years. So nice to get to this point. Just a few clarifications. As I look through this on the conceptual land use plan, it had under commercial, it had restaurants but not in the mixed use. And it just seems like the restaurants really ought to be in the mixed use and not in the commercial, like where Paris RV is. It just didn't quite make sense to me. It's on page 20, 21 right there. If you'd go to commercial, it says primary retail and restaurants and grocery stores, but
But
that's
not in the
that red
mixed
area. But it seems like in the mixed use area, right where the interchange is more where you're going to want your restaurants.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think, as staff, as we're working with property owners, it's certainly not discouraging restaurants with kind of the general language there. I think it would be definitely helpful if it did specifically say restaurants. So yeah, that's great feedback.
I think it does fall under that low impact commercial, but to be more specific, to open the eyes of restaurant owners, I think that'd be good to add that in there as well. It's a good
Yeah,
catch,
and ultimately it's not a zone where we're not identifying every permitted use, right? But it would be helpful to identify those uses that are especially
such
the ones
as
to
restaurants
encourage.
in there. Yep.
And another place in there it talks about sales tax incentives for retail. As far as I know, the state code will not let us do that.
Okay.
And so I don't know if we ought to strike that or leave it in there or not, but the state code won't let us give incentives for retail.
Okay. Yeah, that's
unfortunate.
Make a note of that.
Yeah, unfortunately. Then the other thing I had is talked about Appendix C. What is Appendix C? That's for the Payson Historic District.
Oh, okay.
Was that in there?
I don't think I included the appendixes, but yes, I believe that would have been the historic district overlay, and so that wasn't included just because it wasn't necessarily part of what you'd be adopting into the general plan. It was more of something that would be helpful for staff to use as we're looking at implementing.
But isn't Appendix C part of this plan? I mean, so I just don't know what's in Appendix C. Where it's saying. So is it defining what we're going to do in the downtown? Or I know we're working on an code for that, but does this tell us what the code's going to be?
It does not say what it's going to be.
If it's just suggestions, that's fine.
It provides recommendations
Okay.
for changing it.
As long as it's just recommendations.
It's not worded as code. And so when it comes to implementing it, there's several things that need to be, I guess, tweaked with how it's worded so that it's code language, right? It's kind of that legal language rather than with the Appendix C, it's worded more as a kind of a design guidelines. And so, yeah, that's one of the things that we're hoping to do to implement this plan in the near future is take that language in that Appendix C and kind of turn it more and take what we like and leave the rest and turn it more into code language that then would eventually come to you as for a proposed amendment to the CC1 zone ordinance.
The last thing I have is just the way we're really going to get this to take off is because the Flying J property, which is the key to this place, is they're just kind of waiting to see what happens with the braided ramps, or if we have frontage road, and waiting for UDOT and to come up with a plan for that. So I think that's really key for this, is to make sure we keep pushing that and getting that in place so we can have this property be ready to be developed. But I like the plan. I think it's great. Thank you for all your work.
Okay. Any other council discussion, comments?
I was just going to say, compared to what you first showed me, because obviously I came in as a newbie, compared to what you first showed me, I feel like everything that I put out there, you guys listened to, and it looks completely different. And when I was going through all the pictures and I know they're just ideas and renderings and such, but it made me feel like if that's what was there, I could still go into historic downtown and feel like I'm driving down historic Main Street and not coming into a big city. Because as I had said, you're gonna have two other exits that we can make modern and big and whatnot. You know, like this is it. This is historic downtown. And so I just want to say thanks for listening. It sounds like everyone else feels the same. So you did great.
Wonderful. Sounds like we're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the Payson downtown gateway area plan as part of the city's general plan.
I'll
Can
second.
can I amend that to also, should we add, Brian, to add the wording of restaurants to mixed use and the deletion of sales tax incentives in the plan?
Yeah, I can amend my motion to that.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Smith,
Yes.
Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to number 6, discussion on indoor rodeo arena feasibility study. Dave and
Anders
Brian.
take this one too.
Oh, Anders, good. Yeah, I know you've been heavily involved. Go ahead, Anders.
Yeah. Okay, so what I have up here is just when we included the plan in the packet, it had this 1-page sort of staff report executive summary of what seemed to be the kind of key elements of that study. And so I'll just kind of really quickly go through what these are. So for some background, Councilman Hewlett secured a grant for the city that allowed us to study the economic impact and feasibility of having a city rodeo and indoor equestrian riding arena in Payson. And there's significant interest from the community in this type of facility. And so we just kind of wanted to take a first step at going from just an idea out there to, okay, what would it actually look like? What would it actually take to do something like this? And so we were able to have Crossroads Consultants was this group that's done lots of similar studies like this across the country, and they came in and did I think a great job, very thorough analysis of this type of facility and all the impacts that it would have. So kind of some highlights to this. One of the first things it did was looking at comparable facilities. So it looked at rodeo facilities in the near area to Payson that we could compare kind of their operations and their costs and revenues. But then it also looked at kind of a more nationwide view of facilities that were maybe more similar to what Payson would potentially be doing. And so it identified their how many events they hold a year, their revenues, their expenses. With the comparable facilities, they operate at a average operating deficit of approximately $675,000. Seemed to be kind of the main takeaway from that section of the study. Site considerations looked at what would be kind of the main components that would be needed on a site like this to kind of comply with market demands, and identified that there would probably be a need for about 100 acres for a facility that would meet all those market needs, and then it identified what would be specifically included in that. And then it talked about estimated budgets using kind of all the data and information that they have and comparing it with other similar sites. And kind of the numbers they came up with was that the estimated cost of actually constructing the facility would be 96 to 152 million, which would not include the cost of land. And then, which would be that, initial cost. And then as far as operating costs and operating revenue would be 828,000 to 1.2 million. Operating revenue, 1.3 million to 1.4, about 1.5 million, which would also result, as seen in other comparable facilities, in a operating loss of about 250 to 470 thousand. And then one important part of this is with a facility like this, it's understood that there's sort of a multiplier effect where it draws people into the city, which then encourages growth of businesses, which then encourages growth of drawing more people in and more businesses. So it has that economic impact that should be considered, right, as we're trying to support the community, and not just this field, but in general. And so some estimates that it has for that is that it would have direct and indirect spending of approximately 13 to 19 million, 3 to 5 million in labor income, and then estimated tax revenues of potentially up to 1.3 million.
Do we know, Anders, the time frame on that? Is that within 5 years, the life of the arena? Where are those numbers? The up to 19 million or?
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that question quickly from this page.
Annually, but regional. Okay. Annual, that's a pretty big number for annual return regionally. Right. And how big of a region do you think we're talking here for something in Payson? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there is a map that kind of identifies that regional economic impact. I'm not remembering what page it was on, but yeah, that more or less Provo South.
They stated that we were in a good area for that. It would be more centrally located, and so be easier to be supported by a regional area, right?
Yeah, one thing that I don't know is really addressed necessarily in here is just that there was a lot of just public support for this facility, and that it would be able to continue to have business, right? It would remain full. It just that doesn't mean that it would be profitable due to the operating costs and revenues, but it would be successful in that it would continue to be used, I guess, is the estimation.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I know, I'm not much of a horse guy, but I know a lot of the people I grew up with out in West Mountain would be all about having something like this, would really like this. Obviously the 100 acres, that's a big piece of property to find. I guess, a lot of that's probably parking, but that presents a challenge in of itself of finding something that big.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess my question is, if something were to come of this, time frame wise, what is the idea? Because I feel like I'm really loud tonight. I don't see Payson being able to support any of this for a very long time. And you're talking to a horse owner. I'm going to be blatant and honest. I'm not in support of it. I'm an accountant, so I instantly see a negative revenue. And we're hoping it's going to bring in other money. And I look out at all the other departments and I think, well, we have so many other things that to me is more important. There is an indoor arena 7 miles that way. I know that Young Living is actually, because I'm in a horse community group, they actually just put it out there that they're going to do yearly memberships that you can go use their indoor arena. And, and I don't think that we could beat the price that they offer. I think like Spanish Fork's like $100 a year. And Same with like Young Living, that's what they were talking about. And so for me, it would take a lot and partnerships if someone else is going to fund it somehow. So that was my very first thing is like, what are we thinking? 10 years, 20 years,
Well,
5 years?
And let me jump in on
Okay.
that one. We're not advocating that we do this. Like,
No, we're just
this
looking at
this
it,
is
but
just we wanted to come and provide you with the results of this study.
is it to put more resources into it, I guess, then? Or is it
Well,
just to?
I think it was a very eye-opening experience
Okay.
for all of us to be able to say, you know, we've talked about this for a long, long time, and then Councilmember Hewlett was able to get some grant money to actually study the feasibility of this.
Okay.
And this was really just to understand what would be feasible. And I think for me, the take home was, if we didn't have to build it,
Yeah. Yeah.
if we didn't have to buy the land, build it, and provide it with utilities,
Yeah.
then the revenue that it generated plus the tax revenue
Okay.
that it would bring in, it could be a really good opportunity. But amortizing $150 million, that's a very heavy lift.
Okay. And
we need benevolent billionaires.
that's, yes. And that's helpful to know. Cause when I did see it on the agenda, I was like, so what are we, like, do we just sit here and chit chat? Like, you know,
Yeah,
kind of
this is
thing?
just
Do
a
we keep
reporting.
pushing? Do we, that's it, lay it to rest kind of? So thank you for that. But that's my.
So I'll give you a little background. So
Yeah.
this is a grant from the Utah Tourism Office from the state through ARPA. And so it was a $50,000 grant, and I'm 100% paid by them. So it didn't cost us any money. And I know the mayor's been wanting to look at this for a long time, do a study. So we're able to get that grant. So a few things from this study that one impressed me was how much demand there really was from this group. They really said they're really, even with Spanish Fork, we question them a lot. Spanish Fork is actually going to do some additions to theirs, but they said there really is a big pent up demand for this. But then the cost of building it and the land, that's a big ask. And then also UVU's planning on building something, and I always thought they wanted to kind of do something with us, but from this group, they said they want to just do it on their own. They don't want anything to do with the city. Yep. So I think those are a couple of things we need to look at is what UVU is going to do, how we can incorporate them, and then get with the county. The county really hasn't done anything for us down this way. You know, you got up north and you got Spanish Fork, and it's really time for us to get something from the hotel tax. So things like that we can look at, but again, we aren't going to come up with $100 million and build a indoor rodeo arenas.
Yeah,
but there's some things that we can look at from this study, I think.
I've been a really big opponent. Not an opponent, but somebody that really wants to see this happen. But this is an extremely big lift. Unless we have, somebody that really wants to step forward, who knows, maybe someday somebody would. But without that input, I think we are on the outside looking in.
I think it's important too that as we put this out and discuss it, some opportunities might come up from this study, and someone might step forward, and now we can say, hey, we have a roadmap of what this is going to cost.
It's not wasted money. We learned a lot.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? I think there's just for a discussion to bring us up to speed, and if an opportunity presents itself, then we've got the ability to jump on it. Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good discussion. Thank you, Anders. Appreciate you very much.
Thanks, Anders. I motion that we adjourn.
Okay. Second. All in favor, say
Aye.
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 good. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bill.
Yep.